What's good, y'all? This your boy Ammo. You're listening to Benefiting Kingdom Living with James Direct, right here on GodlyPeopleRadio.com. Keep it locked.
You are listening to the sounds of Godly People Radio.
Godly People Radio.
Let's go.
Yes, sir. Boy, I told him we cold. Black is hot, but we good. Till it's over, we bold. I know we misunderstood. I know they pressing me, they want me sweating, they leave me, but we never could. So when that weather be heating up, bitches to see us up under the hood. Ice cold, watch your step. I'm about to watch my breath. So cold, ain't got no threat. Stand firm, unfolded across my chest. So cold, won't sell. Winter time, on schedule. Way low, got our own level. So cold, need a cold metal. Leveled up to about 10,000. Yeah. Leveled up to about 20,000. Yeah. Leveled up to about 30,000. They draft us below zero. We ain't moving, we too froze. We can't move, we too cold. Can't move, too cold. Can't move, we can't move, we too cold. Can't move, too cold. Can't move, too cold. We gon' wear anywhere. More fight down and no pressure. Want my ego below zero. When I'm humble, I'm better. When they see it get stretched, this cold world to come get you. We still fly with no feathers, and they'll pull you down if you left. And the click froze, I don't mean ice on the wrist though. Mean we ain't changing to get dough. Gold don't mean we ain't lit though. No, you might be tripping if you see the vision, you catch it, the click shows. You by the risen who's living while others spit fire, we spit snow. One time for my soldiers, 2 times for y'all that got that cross on y'all shoulders. We ain't gon' let the world mold us, man. So cold like the wind hit us. Blue steel never been stiller. Won't give in, see him shiver. Grab a chin chiller. Leveled up to about 10,000. Yeah. Leveled up to about 20,000. Yeah. Leveled up to about 30,000. They draft us below zero. We ain't moving, we too froze. We can't move, we too cold. Can't move, too cold. Can't move, too cold. We can't move, we too cold. Can't move, too cold. Can't move, too cold. We gon' wear anywhere. More fight down and no pressure. Want my ego below zero. When I'm humble, I'm better. When they see it get stretched, this cold world to come get you. We still fly with no feathers, and they'll pull you down if you left. Too cold. Too cold. Too cold.
Well, hello, everyone out there. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, all of the above. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to another wonderfully blessed and great episode of Benefiting Kingdom Living. Of course, I'm your host, Mr. James Direct. You know how we do each and every week. I aim to give you strong and powerful messages and topics that allow you to relate and how you can live your life within the kingdom of God and the benefits of it versus living in this kingdom, in this world, how to relate, dealing with things along today's society, in today's times, and just dealing with the drama and the trouble of a lot of things what we deal with on a day-to-day basis. And when I can say it's a great and wonderful time and moment in which we do, for all of you who just tuning in for the first time, I truly do thank you. Trust me when I say you're always in for an impactful show. Those who's been tuning in since day one, truly do thank you. It has been a blessing. It's been a great honor. God has been good to us all the way. I'm not going to waste too much of your time on too much of the things. Just a few announcements which you're going to get through. First off is that, of course, first announcement, don't forget to tune in to check out Young Warrior's website. Of course, that's ywiministries.weebly.com. is great and inspirational for those who don't know what Young Warriors is. It is, of course, our young adults and youth ministry. What we're looking to do is inspire and motivate the youth and the young adults and bring them all together and show them how the things about living in the world and dealing with today's times and trouble, giving them motivation and inspiration, understanding that today's youth are tomorrow's leaders, and we have to show them and teach them what it means to be a leader and be strong from what it is in life. A lot of us have not had that opportunity, and we grow up and become men and do not fulfill for what it is that God has in store for us, and dealing with that type of reality. And that's a lot of things in which we deal with on this day and age. Of course, we got the 2-year, not 1 year, 2-year anniversary of Benefited Kingdom Living. 2 years and still here. Man, when I tell you, God has been with us. It's been a long ride, but we're here. And I thank everyone that has been giving us the opportunity to be on the air and deliver it to you and present things to y'all. I can honestly say it has been a blessing. I truly do thank you and love you who's been with us. Partnership with 108 Praise has been great. And of course, doing it on Godly People Radio as well. Without the audience on both platforms, it would not be this and would not be here on this day. And I thank you. And I, of course, got to thank God. Got to thank God for it. So that you want to tune into January 15th or 16th, one of those dates. Going to broadcast on that and really deliver to you on that one. Not really sure as of yet. By next week, I'll make a final decision on exactly which date will the anniversary show air. Of course, time to come. Look out for the promos on social media. Tell you who's going to be on the show. We're going to have a wonderful and great lineup. If you enjoyed last year with Pastor Clinton Ingram from Jesus People Overcoming Church and Miss Blair Monique and, of course, Mr. R.B. Nickerson, it's definitely going to be enlightful, impactful. A lot of gems is going to drop, a lot of jewels. Just stay tuned and look out for that. That's all I got to say for that one. So anyway, not too much of your time. I'm going to move on to this week's topic, which is, of course, reality check. Reality check. Excuse me. Oftentimes in life, we get to a point where we got to have a reality check. Reality check is basically our wake-up call. This is when we slipping, when we falling, when we not doing for what it is we need to do. You know, God always sends upon a person to wake us up, smack us up a bit, like, hey, yo, look, that's what you need to do. I need you to focus. A lot of things you need to do. You know, a lot of us, I'm going to be real on this one. A lot of us as men, we go through a lot. A lot of us, what we deal with is our pride. Our pride within itself will get in the way of a lot of things. And we all look towards God for great blessings and do a lot of things, but we don't trust in God for what it is that we need to do. We rely on our own understanding. And that's something which he tells us not to do. You know, but this is written within his word, do not rely on your own understanding. And we tend to do that. We tend to rely on our own understanding. We don't take the time and think about for what it is that we need to do. We'll have families, don't provide or don't do what we need to do to bring forth to provision for the family, to bring forth the fruit that needs to be brought. And, you know, a lot of times what we do is we'll sit back and we'll rely on the spouse. We'll rely on the wife to do what it is that we need to do. And that's something that we cannot do. That's the reality of the factor. And that's where a lot of times when we get checked on. You know, it comes upon, I know a lot of y'all was like, okay, where is this coming from? I was sitting back and I was listening to a message. Not only come from that, but it started off when I was listening to this message. And he was saying how men don't do for what it is that they need to do in this day and age. A lot of men are boys dealing with this today's society. And I was listening to this message. It was brought by the late Dr. Miles Monroe. And as he was sitting there and he was just dropping a lot of things, and it made me realize on how what we're dealing with. When we, in today's society, a lot of us will look towards the women or look for women that already have stuff that we were supposed to acquire for them. It's a flip-flop or reverse generation when we're dealing with. So instead of us providing for the women will provide for us. The women will take care of us instead of us taking care of the women in the family. So the roles has been reversed. So it's no longer the man wearing the pants in a relationship. It's the woman wearing the pants in a relationship. So we will look towards the woman to do a lot of things for us. Bring money in, go out and work. We sit back and chill. Don't do what it is we got to do. Or we work or we slothful at work and we don't fully grab hold of what we need to do. We'll go out and make babies. Don't provide for the babies. You know, take on like 5 families and knowing that we ain't got enough money to take them on 5 families. The reality of the fact would be that, of course, when the money come in, we trying to stretch out and we ain't got nothing to stretch on. And this is where we've got to understand that no matter what in life, you cannot do that. This is something that we cannot do. This is where pride comes in the way. And it always takes back to that one text in the Bible. And I believe it's 1 Peter 5. And when he talks about pride. And this is a lot of things in which when we dealing with God and dealing with the kingdom of God and the things of God, we as men got to understand what we got to do is right. It's not about pleasing people or worrying about others or doing for what others want us to do. But it's about doing what God wants us to do. It's about doing for what God tells us to do. So if we don't do for what God tells us to do, then we cannot be for what it is that we need to be at. And when I say that, especially not only us, but it's the elders as well. You know, what he says in 1 Peter 5, he said, likewise, younger people, submit yourselves to your elders. Yes, all those who be submissive to one another and to be clothed with humility. For God resists the proud, but he gives grace to the humble. He said God gives grace to the proud, resist the proud, but give grace to the humble. So being humble means is to lower yourself down. Not saying on the fact of you're lower than anyone else or anyone else is higher. It's a matter of coming to reality of who you are, what it is that you're dealing with. Because if we don't come to reality for what it is that we're dealing with or what it is that we're doing, we ain't going to never know for what it means to be at a certain point in life. We are going to never know for what it means to do for what it is we need to do in life within itself. So it all depends upon what it is we need to do. I'm one that I'm sitting here because I'm ministering to myself. And a lot of times what I do is, my key thing is procrastination. That's the assassination of everything. Procrastination is the assassination of everything in life. Because when you sit back and you procrastinate, you hesitate and wait, you're not having faith in God. You're not saying, okay, God, I trust you upon doing these things that we need to do. My procrastination led to us being broke, almost homeless, being late on rent, like 3 months in a row. And it came to a point where I'm at, a reality check. Yo, you got to get it together. Yo, you got to do what you need to do. Yo, you got a family to support. And the reality of the fact, it came to the point where as I got married and still got a family, still have kids to take care of and taking upon another family. And not understanding, it's not a matter of that, not saying that, okay, if you have a former life, if you have outside kids, it's not okay to get married to another person. But the reality of the fact is you got to make sure that you are within that position to do so. You can't just jump out. Yeah, it's cool to follow your heart, but you got to be wise in the sense of a matter. You got to have wisdom. You got to have a wise dome. If you're not wise upon your decisions, then it will lead to failure. And my decision making was never on time and a moment where it needed to be or in line for where it needed to be. So heart and intentions was in it, but the reality of the factor was that, this was not the time and the moment. And this is a lot of things that we're dealing with. We get to a certain point in life where we're not feeling a lot of things, or we're not looking at it for what it is. So, especially Christians, when we're dealing with Christianity. And I was having a conversation with a person the other day, and we were talking about how, she was saying how she was talking to one individual, and she was saying how she weighed a certain amount just a year ago. And then this year, her weight went up. And that individual was like, well, what happened? Well, my pituitary glands, this is what she said to the other individual, my pituitary gland came up.